Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on Quora,
Hmm.
specifically the kind of intelligence, the data it holds for businesses, for market researchers.
Yeah, it's quite a
You
resource.
want this to be sort of an express route, to understanding how this platform can unlock some, frankly, surprisingly valuable information.
Exactly. I mean, at its core, Quora is basically this huge public forum, right?
Yeah.
People ask questions, people answer them on almost anything you can think of.
So our mission today, let's call it that, is to pull out the most important nuggets, how companies can actually use Quora. We're talking data collection, marketing, maybe even content ideas.
Oh, definitely content ideas
Mm.
and market research, advertising too. It's pretty versatile.
Right. The goal is giving you, the listener, a clear handle on how to leverage Quora for, let's say, rapid intelligence gathering, getting insights quickly.
And we're basing this conversation on a piece from Cognitive Market Research. It's titled Quora, The Key to Gain Insights from Experts and Enthusiasts on the Market. Written by Nisha Dior, published October 5th, 2024. They even list the DUNS number, if you're into that, 853563074.
Good to know the source. So let's jump right in with a question for you listening. Ever wondered what your potential customers are really thinking? What keeps them up at night?
That really is the core question, isn't it? And Quora, well, it's such a rich source because it captures data almost passively, just through what users do every day.
Like what specifically?
Well, every single question someone asks, every answer someone writes, the comments, the upvotes, all of it. It paints this ongoing picture of what people care about, what they're struggling with.
Okay, so let's unpack that data collection angle a bit more. How does, someone asking about their lawnmower translate into business intel?
Huh. Well, maybe not that specifically unless you sell lawnmowers.
Yeah.
But think about it. Businesses can analyze questions and answers related to their industry. That gives you real-time data on what people are curious about, what problems they have.
Right.
So if you see tons of questions like, how do I fix problem X with software Y? That's a direct signal, a pain point.
I see. So by monitoring the questions in your niche, you get a direct line to customer concerns.
Precisely. And it's not just the questions. Look at the answers people give, the discussions around the answers. That helps you gauge market demand for certain features, maybe, or understand customer behavior. How are they trying to solve this problem now?
Okay, and you can probably spot frustrations too, things that aren't working for them.
Absolutely. You see what solutions get upvoted, what advice resonates. It helps pinpoint those unmet needs.
That's powerful. It's not just identifying problems, but seeing potential solutions bubble up from the community itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the article also talks about using Quora for marketing, brand visibility. How does that work in practice?
Well, a really fundamental way is building credibility, authority,
How so?
by consistently providing genuinely helpful, insightful answers to questions in your field. If you're, say, a financial advisor and you're giving solid advice on relevant Quora threads.
People start to see you as knowledgeable, trustworthy.
Exactly. That authority can make users much more likely to trust your company, your products, your services down the line. It's like being the helpful expert in the room.
Okay, so it's about demonstrating value through engagement. Are there more direct marketing plays?
Oh, yeah. Content marketing is a big one. You can share useful information that directly tackles the questions your audience is asking.
And crucially.
And crucially, you can link back. Quora lets you link to your company website, your blog posts, specific product pages, right there in your answers.
So you provide value on Quora, but also drive traffic back to your own properties, potentially generating leads.
Precisely. Imagine answering a complex question about project management and linking to your ultimate guide on the topic, maybe mentioning your software solution.
That makes sense. It feels less like a hard sell and more like providing further resources.
Exactly. And then there are the ads. The article mentions Quora's ad targeting. How specific can businesses get?
Yeah, how granular is that?
Apparently, very. You can target users based on the specific topics they engage with, questions they ask, answers they read.
Wow, okay.
So if someone's deep in questions about, say, sustainable travel, a company offering eco-tours could get their ad right in front of that person. That leads to really relevant data collection and hopefully better ad performance.
Right, because they're already interested. You're not guessing.
Mm.
Okay, this is fascinating. How does this all loop back to creating content for a company's own website? How does Quora inform that?
It's a fantastic source of inspiration, really. By looking at the questions people ask on Quora, you get direct insight into what your potential website visitors are genuinely curious about.
So those frequently asked questions on Quora,
They could become your next blog posts, your FAQ sections, your how-to guides. People are searching for these answers. It takes the guesswork out of content planning.
instead of just brainstorming topics, you're literally answering the call from your audience.
Exactly. And more than that, look at which answers on Quora get the most traction. The upvotes, the shares. That tells you what kind of answers resonate.
Ah, so it's not just what to write about, but how to write about it. The style, the depth.
Precisely. What tone works? How much detail do people want? Do they appreciate visuals? You can learn a lot by observing what succeeds on Quora.
That's really practical feedback. You can even look at the comments and follow-up questions on popular answers, right, to refine your own content.
Yes, that helps you dial in the tone, the complexity, make sure your website content really hits the mark and engages people effectively.
Okay, let's talk about reach. Organic reach is the goal for many. How can Quora ads, which you pay for, actually help boost that organic visibility? Seems a bit counterintuitive.
It does seem that way at first glance, but think of it as a catalyst. Paid ads on Quora let you get your best content in front of a very relevant audience quickly, people already interested in your industry or topics.
Okay, so you're buying that initial eyeballs.
Right. And if that content is genuinely good, those people who see it via the ad might then engage with it organically.
Meaning they might upvote it, share it, comment on it.
Exactly. Without any more ad spend from you for that specific interaction. And that organic engagement sends positive signals.
To Quora's algorithm.
Yes. It tells Quora, hey, this content is valuable, which can then boost its visibility within Quora organically. It might show up more often for other users.
And potentially even help with search engine rankings outside of Quora.
Potentially, yes. Good content getting engagement tends to get noticed. So that initial paid push can create ripples, leading to more sustained organic reach over time.
That's a smart strategy. Using paid to prime the pump for organic growth.
You mentioned targeting before. What are the key ways Quora ads let you do that?
They offer some pretty sophisticated options. Topic targeting is a big one, reaching people engaging with specific subjects.
Like our sustainable travel example.
Right. And behavioral targeting lets you reach users based on their past actions on the platform, their demonstrated interests.
That precision means you're connecting with people genuinely likely to care about what you offer, increasing the chances of that valuable organic interaction happening after they see the ad.
This sounds incredibly useful for businesses, for marketers. But what about pure market researchers? How does Quora fit into their toolkit?
For researchers, Quora is like a real-time window into consumer thinking. Preferences, behaviors, trends. It's all unfolding in the questions and discussions.
So it's like observing a massive, ongoing, organic focus group.
Kind of, yeah. But without the artificial setting, researchers get access to authentic, user-generated stuff. They can spot unmet needs, problems with existing products, desired features, things people might not articulate in a formal survey.
You can really hear the customer's voice, their specific complaints or wishes.
Exactly. That direct feedback helps researchers understand the real pain points and maybe design better studies or even inform product development directly. Think about spotting a recurring complaint about a product flaw across dozens of Quora threads. That's powerful data.
And because it's generally unfiltered, just users talking, it must have a level of authenticity that's hard to replicate.
Absolutely. It's raw opinion, often in the user's own words, much richer than, checking boxes on a survey.
Right.
Plus, you can often overlay demographic insights, see how different groups may be based on age, location if available, or self-declared interest are talking about certain topics. That helps refine market segmentation and targeting.
Okay, really useful for researchers.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up, there was that interesting fast fact in the article about Poe, Quora's AI chat platform.
Ah, yes, Poe. That was quite something.
What was the specific point?
Well, according to reports, initially from Wired, I believe, Poe demonstrated an ability to essentially pull the text, the HTML file, of articles that are behind paywalls.
If you give it the link.
If the user provides the link, yes. The reports mentioned several big publications potentially affected, like the New York Times, Bloomberg Businessweek, The Atlantic, Forbes, and others.
Wow. So an AI within the Quora ecosystem that could potentially bypass subscription barriers. That's noteworthy.
It certainly is. It highlights, the evolving capabilities and sometimes unexpected consequences of these powerful AI tools within platforms like Quora. Definitely an interesting side note.
For sure. Okay, let's try and bring this all together then. What are the main takeaways for businesses and researchers listening to this deep dive on Quora?
I think the big picture is that Quora is this really multifaceted resource. It's not just one thing. It offers several different ways to gather data, boost your marketing, get content ideas, advertise smartly, and conduct pretty insightful market research.
And the key is that it all comes from tapping into real user questions, real discussions.
Exactly. It's grounded in what actual people are thinking and asking about.
So for you listening, hopefully this deep dive has shown how you can potentially cut through some of the noise online, how you can gain these direct, often unfiltered insights from a place buzzing with real-time questions and answers.
Yeah, it's about harnessing that collective curiosity, that shared knowledge that builds up in these online communities.
Right. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. What are the big unanswered questions in your specific field or industry right now? The ones that, if answered, could spark your next breakthrough?
Mhm.
And where might you start looking for clues to those answers within this huge landscape of online conversation? Maybe Quora is a place to start that search?
Definitely worth exploring. Based on your own needs and interests, it could be a really valuable next step.